Hello. Good morning. Just gonna light some sage. Hello to those of you watching the recording. Hello, good morning. Should I say grand rising? Hi, Grant. Nice to see you. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Lori. How's it going? Did you guys sleep okay last night? TGIF indeed. I'm already in a Friday mood. I'm like, can I go back to bed yet? Hi, Erica. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Chandrika. Hi, Summer. Hi, Dawn. How is everyone today? I've got my giant doobie smudge with me, as you can see. This is my white sage and eucalyptus one. It's very nice. My lighter, though, needs a little something extra here. I need my blowtorch. Where'd that sucker go? How is everyone today? Hi, Brandy. Nice to see you. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Lindsay. That's massive, Dawn said. Yes, indeed. Compensating for something. Hi, Stephanie. Nice to see you. Hi, Donna. Hi, Jessica. TGIF. I'm already excited about the weekend. I've got Aiden's birthday party. Aiden missed his birthday party because he was sick a month ago. So we had to postpone it a whole month because we went away to South Africa. So I have a bowling party to go to tomorrow with a bunch of third graders. Hi, Alma. New moon and 7 planets aligning. Why do you think I'm trying to light this sucker? It doesn't want to light. What's going on here? There we go. Nice. Now we're talking. But yes, we have a big planetary alignment going on. There's all kinds of interesting things happening. Very good time to do a decluttering. This is what a lot of the guides have been recommending. Doing a decluttering of the house, making sure that our closets and under our beds, especially all those areas, are feng shui. You got to make sure the energy can flow properly. Otherwise, you end up with portals and dark patches and astral parasites and all kinds of stuff creeping around your house, and you don't want that. I love bowling as well, Summer, but he's a little cheat. He always gets the bumpers and he makes me use the non-bumpers. And then he brags about how much he kicks my butt. So one of these days he's gonna have a reckoning and he's gonna, I think age 10. Age 10 is a good year to take away those bumpers, eh? They will roll into eclipse season, yes. Grant did a chakra cleansing. Very nice, Grant. Good idea. Do a little purge of the chakras. I'm almost tempted. Where's my... There it is. You know what I'm going to do since this thing is being a little something or other today and doesn't want to light? I think I might pull out the big guns and just smoke out this place today. Because, things are getting really interesting. As you guys probably saw my post yesterday, there's been all kinds of stuff going down during clearings. Lots of interesting and exciting stuff happening. And there's been a lot more psychic attacks, especially on practitioners and healers. I've been getting a lot of emergency bookings for people that are going through some really heavy stuff. He's lighting an incense. What do you call this? This is a charcoal puck here. I'm going to light some frankincense. I always love watching it light itself. Isn't that cool? It just goes like crazy. So I'm going to burn some of this frankincense my wonderful friend Elise gave me. Thank you, Elise, if you're watching. I'm really grateful. I'm using this incense like crazy. Here it is. This stuff really works well, hey? Luke said, loved your post on imposter soul guide. Super interesting. I've had like 15 psychic readings in my lifetime, and they all said I had some spirit animals every time. But I recently got a clearing and I was informed my soul guide's animal was a minotaur. That's interesting. Not the first minotaur I found. One of my very best friends has a minotaur gatekeeper because he had a past life in Crete as a demigod, which was some really interesting stuff to find in an Akashic record. But anyway, I was informed my soul guide's animal was a minotaur, totally different from what every other psychic told me. Is it possible for an imposter guide to fool a professional psychic? Yeah, absolutely. If people aren't aware that these exist, then all kinds of trickery can happen. So I think for the most part, though, vibration is where it's at. So this is why sometimes I feel that if you're a really good psychic, you're not going to be fooled. You can tell any kind of lie you want, but the vibration is going to rat you out. So if people are really in tune with their energy, if they're very well grounded, see, this is going to be some good smokery going on here. Cleansing the space good today. There's been a lot of attempts. There's been a lot of, like I said, trickery going on. People have been messaging me and going, hey, I've been having weird dreams. People offering me things. Have you ever heard of that? I'm like, yeah, woo, like that's a big deal. But it's interesting that you were talking about minotaurs because many people find that they have a soul guide that is a little scary at times. One of my friends has a gatekeeper that is a Wendigo, for example, which is one of the coolest things ever. If you guys don't know what a Wendigo is, Google it. Wendigos are usually considered to be like monsters, but if you are friends with one, if you have a soul guide that is taking that form, you can take any form you want. This is the cool thing about energy. This is the cool thing about being discarnate or being, I should say, one of these special beings that exist. There is this one person, we always ask permission from the higher self if you can clear a certain person. I don't know if you guys remember the story, but Andy was asked to clear somebody once that had just something wrong about him. People were like, there's something off about this guy. And they booked a clearing for him. And when Andy went to check, it turned out that he was actually a skinwalker. He couldn't be cleared because he's not human. So you really never know what you're going to find when you're doing clearings because there's a lot of people that are different kind of people than you would normally expect. So I think that for the most part, even werewolves and other things exist. And that doesn't mean that they're going to try and hurt people. It just means that they're different. Who knows? I think everything exists on a spectrum. You can have good and bad in everything. So that's why you just shield up, right? My third guy didn't come forward during my Akashic readings. I was like, hey, I can handle it, I think. Sometimes the guides are very shy. Sometimes they don't even have a physical form that they choose to take. Do we know what skinwalkers actually are? Yeah, they're shapeshifters. There's a lot of different kinds of shapeshifters, though. They exist in many different forms. In fact, pretty much everything that exists in the astral realms is a shapeshifter because it can change how it appears all the time. This is one of the reasons why discernment is so important because you need to feel whether somebody is bullshitting you or not. And you need to trust your first instinct. A lot of times we actually end up gaslighting ourselves into thinking, oh, wait, actually, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm just being judgmental. No, trust your first instinct. I'm just puzzled why 15 have said the same thing over the last 20 years, and now this time it's different. Well, there's different guides that come in. All kinds of different guides come and go in our lives for different reasons. You may have a guide that sticks around your entire time. You may have guides that come and go. You may have guides that are off busy helping other people at that time, and they're not present at that very moment. The soul guides have lives too. Like this is one of the things, especially if you have a galactic soul guide, that soul guide still has a body somewhere. They're using something very different. They're using soul projection to communicate. So it's like they're pretty much almost astral projecting. They're channeling, So they're still living, breathing. They still have their daily routines that they go and do. So a lot of people think that just because you have a soul guide means that they're going to follow you around all the time. But no, you get all kinds of different interesting guides. Some of them are more companion-like. Some of them are more gatekeeper, protective. Some of them are even just ancestral, and they have a vested interest in where your ancestry is going. So they keep an eye on you. You get all kinds of different guides. So you also get elemental guides. You know, it's really funny. There was this one person in our classes recently. She was like, I don't like this soul guide. Can I get another one? And the one medium was like, I don't know. We can ask. And sure enough, they were like, yeah, all right, sure, go ahead. You can have a different guide. So she's like, I want this guide. And they're like, okay, sure. Like, so you can actually choose. You can actually call in and ask them, but just make sure that you are getting what you're asking for rather than something that is pretending to be what you're asking for, if you know what I mean. So I request an Irma as a spirit guide to join my spirit team. Yes, I did. I did, and I have one now. So yes, actually you can, speaking from experience. And let me tell you how grateful I am for their help, because wow, things have gotten real interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. Very, very interesting over the past few weeks. Things have been escalating quickly in the terms of this 5D shift that's going on. And I think that things are going to continue escalating. So it's a very good idea for us to just be prepared for anything. So hi, Amanda. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. Amanda said, I just booked a clearing finally after all this time. Woohoo, I'm excited. Wonderful, Amanda. I'm very excited to help you as well. I do apologize for the wait. It's going to be like probably 3 weeks for me to get through my bookings. In fact, let me check really quick. Let's see how many bookings I have right now that are just pending here. I'm just curious how many people are in line right now. This does not include like the families as well, because some people book family clearings. There's 61 records right now, 61 pending clearings. So I am very, very much looking forward to some of the people that are graduating soon. There's a couple people from the academy that have been waiting 6 months or longer, who should have graduated months ago, who have not yet due to silly things. So unfortunately, that is one of the reasons why I'm being slow. Is I don't have enough mediums. I would do this all day. You kidding me? Like, this is my favorite thing to do, is doing clearings. So I would do it 6 to 8 hours a day minimum if I could. But the mediums, they can only work about an hour before they start having smoke coming out of their ears and start overheating and panting. And, so we don't want to exhaust our mediums. So they do have to pace themselves. And sometimes a case can take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, especially children. Children are very quick. But then you also get other cases that take 90 minutes. There was one case that took nearly 2 hours for a whole group of us to clear. It was quite intense. So, but I am catching up quickly. I do have new mediums that are just about to finish training, and I'm very excited about it. So I apologize to those of you who are waiting. I'm very much excited about getting caught up, so that way I can really I want to do pro bonos. Pro bonos are my jam. Because that is that's probably what actually slows me down a little bit too. Is I'm always sneaking pro bono in there. Because the reason why is most of the people that reach out to me that are really in a bad situation, like one of you sweet people that watched the podcast messaged me and said that you're living in a homeless shelter, and this is a quite young person, and they were hearing voices. And I could not wait. I was like, all right, I'm done. Let's go. Like, I'm ready. Let's go. Like, let's do this. Because there's so many people that hit rock bottom because of these attachments. So many people that end up in mental health wards or homeless or ending up at the VA because they're going through some really, really heavy stuff because of these attachments. And those are my favorite cases. So, because I feel that helping people that are really at their lowest, like that is the true emergency, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, looking forward to being able to do this work on a pro bono basis and being able to make money in other ways like classes. Speaking of classes, my friend Tina and I have been working tirelessly on a new class for you guys, because for the last few months, people have been asking for an advanced astral projection class. And we've written one for the past few weeks. So Tina has like 40 years experience in astral projection. I have like 13, 15 years, give or take, of experience. So Tina is like amazing with her knowledge. She knows better than I do. So she's the person I reached out to that I was like, hey, you want to write something really cool with me? And she is wonderful at being able to develop a what do you call it? A presentation as well with all pretty pictures and things. So that is going to be on the 16th. I have that right here. Let me just get the link here. For those of you who would like to join, it's $33 like it always is. It's going to be a 3-hour class. We're going to be going into things like imposter soul guides as well, stuff like that. Hopefully I got the right link there. I think I did. We'll see. Let me know if it works, you guys. Somebody let me know how that's working, because that's the first time I've shared the link. So yeah, I'm very excited to do this class with you guys. We're putting a lot of information in there. In fact, we have over 100 slides that we're going to include already. We're also going to talk about plant medicine and how they affect astral projection and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's going to be all kinds of really interesting things in the class. So I hope some of you are excited to join me for that, because it's going to be a very fun class to talk about. And then we're also going to be doing a Reiki class. We're going to be doing, people have been asking us to redo the crystal class. So I think I'm probably going to be doing like one class a month and just you kind of cycle them out for a while and see how you guys like them. Because, yeah, it seems to be going pretty well with Tina and I as a team of writing classes right now. She's so smart and knowledgeable as well. So any other, oh, Bradley's giving advice in the comments. Nice to see you, Bradley. Establish a feeling. Start by asking your guides what a yes feels like and then what a no feels like. Then randomly ask yes and no questions so you can start to establish the feeling that is associated with the answers. Over time, you will build trust with the feeling and the answers that you get, so you know it's not just in your own head. Lovely, Bradley. Wonderful advice. Bradley is like the perfect student. He really is. I am so impressed with how far Bradley has come in such a short period of time. So, any other questions about what we've been discussing? I'm just catching up with the comments here. Thank you, Katerina. Very sweet of you to say. Anybody going through something they want to discuss today? Hi, Skimante. I learned today the hard way how important it is to do spiritual protection after my last report, because, man, 3 level 2s, 1 level 3 at the same time. Flattering. Happy that I turned that around, because, man, shit is getting real. I got hit just while working on my website the other day. I felt it come in. It felt like Uzi fire heartbeat, like, like that's what my heart did. And I was like, wait, hold on, hold the phone. What's going on here? And I immediately texted somebody and I was like, hey, can you just check me really quick? And she's like, yeah, level 2 just came through your computer. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. So you get tuned into these things. You really do start to notice when something is hitting your etheric field, when you feel something weird. I was hanging out with Leia and Chantal when we were in South Africa. We were talking and hanging out by the back stoop by the ocean, and I felt something hit my etheric. It was like a boom, like that. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I knew immediately something hit me. And so about an hour later, we sat down to do some clearings. And I said to Constantine, I was like, can you check me? I felt like something is there. And he goes, yeah, level 3. And I said, what is it? And he goes, it's like a sea creature. I was like, what? A sea creature? And he goes, yeah, there's a sea creature. It doesn't have any arms or legs or anything. It actually slithers. And it was just kind of trying to coil itself around you. And I was like, I could feel weirdness around me. And I just didn't know what I was feeling. So you do sense these things, but you gaslight yourself out of it. And you're just like, what is that weird sensation? I don't know. Just a muscle twitch. And then you blow it off, not knowing that something is actually messing with you. How do I get rid of reconnecting cords? Good question, Luke. You stop thinking about the person. The same way that you stop a narcissist from harassing you. No more. You cut them off. You send them love. You can send them love, but you really do. You need to emotionally detach yourself from the situation. I know it's not easy. In fact, it was really funny. The other day, my phone rang and I looked down and it said, douchebag, don't fucking answer as the name. I was like, oh God, my ex is calling me. And it really made me laugh, hey, because about 6 months ago, if I had seen his face and his name popping up, I'd be like, oh. And then maybe that would have set up a chord, right? So I was like, ah. So I changed his name. So now every time he calls me, that's what it says. So when I saw that name pop up, there was no emotional connection whatsoever. I was like, like go away. Sometimes you need to just cut that shit off. So, sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. If you're feeling emotionally connected to that person, you need a bigger distance. Exactly, Michelle. He was trying to reestablish that cord. 100%. 100%. No. When I found out that we have a magnetic cord last time, Constantine was helping me through the emotional purge of that breakup. Because we were together for a few years, you develop an energetic bond with somebody. And then when you cut the cord, they're like, hey, they don't like it. So, that's what you have to do. You have to hang up. No. You got to set boundaries. And if it's somebody like a baby daddy that you really have to talk to, which a lot of us are in those situations where, you have to communicate with somebody, even though there's a lot of emotional tension going on there, you just keep it short and sweet. Be nice, but keep it short. Don't give them any extra details. Don't chit chat. Just, short to the point. So many level ups lately. Amen to that, Aaron. Love you. Aaron said, oh, there's something else. There's a lot of comments that came in just then. What if your person appears in your dreams even after asking them not to appear there? You set boundaries, Jessica. 100%. You set boundaries. You can still tell them. You can even put it in like a diary that you have before bed. Like you write it down. Like, I will not connect with this person. I have no interest in touching this person's energy. I clear and release this from my psyche. Because if you're still thinking about it, you can actually writing actually, helps to release things better. This is why people write letters and then don't even send them, because it helps you to release and purge. It gets the things out that needs to be said so you can process and release and then move on. Because that's why a lot of us are still holding on to baggage, because we haven't opened up the suitcase, taken all the shit out, looked at it and be like, I don't want any of this junk, and then thrown it out. So we keep carrying around this heavy suitcase thinking we want everything in there. But when you take a closer look at all the junk in the suitcase, you're like, ugh, what am I doing with this? No, this is going to the dump. Aaron says, had new guides come in last week after having a breakdown from tech issues in my workshop. The experience blasted me open and I was able to hear them. That's wonderful, Aaron. I felt so wide open and you grounded from massive energies. I was working so hard to make sure they weren't imposters. Loudest clarity in my ears. That's wonderful, Aaron. It also helps to get validation from other people too. Having somebody else come in with a different perspective, an outside look, can really help. This is why having a team of people working together tends to really be beneficial. We can validate each other's guides, look after each other. In fact, some of our practitioners have been dealing with multiple attacks in the last week. And I said, we should just put them all on a list, put everybody on a list, put everybody in a bubble and check them once a day. Just boop, make sure, as everybody here, sovereign, just say their name. Sovereign. Yep. Sovereign. Yep. Sovereign. Yep. Sovereign. Okay, good. Like, it doesn't take that long to have accountability for these things. Just reading through, catching up with the comments. I feel like a lot of small daily stuff keeps happening throughout the day. Wouldn't call them bad, but negative enough to keep me low vibe all day. I'm sorry, Amma. I'm sending you a big hug. It sucks. Adulting is not fun, especially when you've got a whole bunch of, responsibilities and tedious things that drain on you. So just do something that brings you joy throughout the day. Self-care, extra things that you treat yourself. Do something you really love to kind of counterbalance. You need to find balance, right? All work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. You don't want to you got to balance. Really want to speak to my guides easily. What do you recommend? How do you hear them? Well, a lot of times we gaslight ourselves because we're not hearing things audibly. Your thoughts, every single one of you are telepathic. It's just that most of us end up gaslighting ourselves all the time, thinking that our thoughts are our own. So most of you are actually already hearing your guides. You just don't know you're hearing your guides. So the best thing you can do is every day for about at least 15, 20 minutes, sit down quietly in a space where you are going to be left alone and just connect. Ask your guides to come in. Feel their energy out. Make sure that you ask them 3 times that they're from the highest of light and serving the highest good of humanity. Gauge the answers that you get, and if you really are feeling like you are not getting a solid yes or no, you could always use a pendulum. You could use dowsing rods. You can use muscle testing. It's all kinds of ways that you can kind of validate what your thoughts are that you're getting. And all of these things are really good to kind of practice, to really get used to that energy. And then once you start to get to know their energy, it's like getting to know a friend. You get to know them. You can feel when it's them. Let's see. I had a dream last night that big red portals were opening over the ocean. And as a kid screamed, there were chaos engine portals. Crazy dream. You know what else is weird, right? We've been finding that there's a lot of, we see dark patches. I've been finding red patches on people, which is also really interesting. So you get black patches, which are like these concentrations of negative energy. It looks like you're almost wearing like dark gloves on your hands, like when you're exchanging money all day or something and you end up developing those dark patches. That's what it ends up kind of looking like. But red patches are showing up on people now, which is really interesting. I was wondering why that is. Hi, Susan. If you subscribe to my YouTube is far more accurate at giving notifications when I go live. So if you subscribe to my YouTube, it's Astral Exploration with Lara Star. I know everybody likes the Facebook chat because there's more people chatting, but if you get the notification on YouTube, and it works a lot easier. Because Facebook does not give you good notifications like ever. Are pendulums absolutely my higher self spirit guides? Well, pendulums are just your energy. It's an extension of you. So it moves because of your energy. So you do want to make sure that your pendulum is sovereign because things can attach to any object. Anything can attach to an object. So you want to make sure that your pendulums are kept clean. I usually keep them in a bowl of selenite along with some other stuff. Like I've got like random things in here, like magnetic hematite that I keep in my selenite bowl with all my pendulums and stuff. But you want to, like I said, keep them smudged, keep them clean. And if you have a pendulum that you use every day, it's really good if you find one you can wear because it gets used to your energy that way. I'm trying to see if I can find my pendulum that I wear, but no, it's just like one of those double terminated points are really good to have because they double as a pendulum you wear as a necklace. I wanted to ask, can we remove implants ourselves? Yes, you can. You can do anything yourself with visualization if you are, in tune with yourself to that degree. I visualize it as a vacuum. You can literally have a vacuum. You visualize it in the astral. The vacuum's like, like getting all the implants. You can also visualize them just kind of like frying. I visualize them like a Faraday cage, just kind of protecting around me. But if you are trying to get rid of them, you could also do like an EMP charge. Just visualize an EMP going off, bam, rendering them all inert. So visualization is extremely powerful, especially in the astral. You guys have no idea. If you knew how powerful your thoughts were in the astral, every single one of you would be like Dr. Strange. You would all be practicing like crazy. You would all be like Hermione Granger level students with this stuff because you have no idea how powerful your thoughts are. And we end up, just brushing it off completely. This is why they don't want us humans to awaken to these things. And they don't want us to know that we affect on things on a multidimensional level. They knew how much humanity knew how much power it had, especially in a group. We would be meditating everywhere together. It would be like a thing. We'd be like, "You want to meet up Friday night and meditate?" Like, "Yeah, man, I'd love to meditate." Like people, it would be so much cooler than it actually is if people actually knew what they were doing and knew what they were actually manifesting and could see what they were manifesting more clearly in their mind's eye. So this is why, like, our wonderful mentor Lauren Roche was explaining things like you can't have a better movie than your own mind during meditation, because your mind is the most powerful thing in the universe and you can travel the cosmos. Any movie that you have in Hollywood is like meh compared to what you can find in your own mind. But most of us end up blocking all that. In fact, I forget what it was. There was somebody that said that he did an experiment where he cut out all electronics for 7 months. He did an IQ test, right? Where he spends all his time on the computer, right? Where he was learning. I forget the name of this guy. It was a really interesting documentary thing I watched the other day, where they basically took this guy who spends all his time like learning on the internet. They took him offline for 7 months. They didn't let him even have a phone. He wasn't allowed to have a TV, no electronics. He spent his time just reading books on occasion, you know, like gardening, this and that. His IQ went from like the top 20 percentile to the top 1 percentile. And they were wondering, like, why, how does his intelligence go up so much higher in that period of time? Like, that didn't even make sense. And it was because of the fact that he actually is connecting. He's more grounded. He's connected to that intelligence, not like, you know, the kind that you get from watching TV or from reading books. Even reading books, you end up having a limited perspective on these things because the travel that you can do, the downloads you can get in your own mind are so much more powerful. So this is one of the reasons why when you do ayahuasca and things, like if I went to Peru, they insist upon a detox of everything. You're not allowed to use the tablets. You're not allowed to have sex. You're not allowed to eat sugar. You're not allowed to do all kinds of stuff. Like they basically are like all things that humans do in the Western countries for fun, no more. Don't do any of it. You can't eat meat, nothing. They're so strict. And I was wondering, I'm like, really? No sex or anything beforehand? And they're like, yeah, that is hugely important because you end up carrying the energy of that other person with you everywhere you go. And it's like people have no idea how much energy they pick up from other people, which is another thing we're going to discuss in the class, by the way. In fact, I'm going to share the link one more time for those who might be interested. My astral projection class that I'll be doing with Tina is going to discuss astral sex and astral intimacy as well. There's a whole lot we can talk about that. It was just a tiny footnote in the my first class, but there's a lot of information about that. So that's going to be a fun one to discuss as well. Do you know what else is interesting? I saw that one post about an anthropologist who went and met, I believe it was with the Bushman people in the Kalahari. And they went and he spent weeks with them. And one day they were talking about the sound of the planets, the sound of the stars. And he was like, what are you talking about? And they thought he was joking. They were like, I have no idea what he's like. No, I'm not joking. I don't know what you mean. And they were so astonished that he couldn't actually hear the stars and the planets and the sun. And they actually felt sorry for him. They said it was the saddest thing that they had ever heard, that this man could not hear the stars. So it just makes you wonder how much we've disconnected ourselves from everything. Without even being aware what we're disconnecting ourselves from. Just so much distraction and so much that we take for granted because we don't even know what's there. March 16th. Yep, that's the date. Thank you, Jennifer. March 16th, which is a Sunday at noon. For those of you who'd be interested, it is an advanced astral projection class because I know there's several of you that wanted to classes just about astral projection. And it's for people that have either been practicing already or people that would like a more advanced understanding of it. So That is going to be a fun one. We're also going to teach a bit about remote viewing and a bunch of other things that we do. Because to be honest, most of the time what I do with my work is remote viewing. We do a lot of remote viewing when we're doing spirit release. So practicing your remote viewing is also a really important thing for those who are doing any form of healing work. Tina's really interesting too, because the way she does her Reiki, Tina's a Reiki master. In fact, she's the one who attuned me for my mastership. And she prefers to do a lot of her healing work in the astral. She'll astral project to you before she does her healing work. So, can you please tell me where we can find out more on energy names that spoke to me in the previous classes? Energy names. You can get your energy name through meditation. You can download it from your Akashic record. I'm not too sure much about them, actually, or energy name. So maybe we can find Siddhartha to talk about that sometime. Siddhartha's coming back on the podcast on the 14th, so maybe we can ask him. So is the heart chakra the key chakra for protecting your energy field? Absolutely. It affects all the other chakras the most. Out of all your chakras, that is the most important because it affects the upper and lower chakras. It's like the bridge between them. Because you'd be surprised how much your chakras get really interesting when we do clearings. People that are in fight or flight mode, your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, they are all going to be overactive. And it's almost like they get supercharged and these get dulled when you're in that survival mode, which is another reason why they want to keep people in fight or flight mode all the time. If you have any heart chakra damage, like let's say you went through a broken heart, right? And you've been feeling very down and low, all of your chakras are going to dim because it's the one root chakra that really affects all the others. All of them are very important. If you have even one chakra, it could actually end up throwing them all off eventually, but that one will throw them off the quickest. Especially also, the crown is also really worth mentioning too, because so much energy comes through the crown. If you could see your chakras, like it wouldn't actually be that big. Most of the time, the energy vortex looks like this. Your crown is massive. It's like a pipe of energy coming down through. So this is why many of you have noticed are having headaches the last few days. How many people have been having really bad headaches the last 3-4 days? I am definitely one of them. Horrific headaches the last few days. In fact, it must be really annoying to some of the mediums because I'm like, is this a psychic attack? Like, what's going on here? About 50% of the time, it was a psychic attack. And the other 50% of the time, they're like, bitch, go ground yourself. Like, no, it's just your energy and it's clogged. Go ground yourself. Go walk barefoot. So for those of you that feel that you've got way too much energy coming in, it could be that your crown is just like whoosh, right? And then you've got all this energy coming in and you're like, where is it going? Right? And if you got a block in your third eye, your brain is going to be like, it's going to feel like you're, mega mind, like your head's going to swell. So make sure that you are grounded, make sure that you are cleansed. I like to keep an eye on all of the chakras. I get my Vogel crystal here, for example, that I got back from storage. Yay. And so you just go over the chakras and cleanse any debris, any funk that might have been pulled in, because you pull in it's an energy vortex. Of course, you're going to pull in junk. So you just run your crystal over your third eye, then down over your throat. Make sure that you cleanse. And what really helpful is if you get the back too, because you get a lot of energy going out the back, and you just work your way down, cleansing until you feel that the block has been removed. This is why we should do a class on Reiki. I'll get Tina and we'll start writing that class on Reiki as well. Because it really does help. Even if you haven't been attuned in Reiki, you can still give yourself Reiki. I used to do this as a kid. You warm up the hands because you get these energy vortices in your hands, and if you keep doing this, you can actually feel the ball of energy that you're building in your hand. Like it almost feels like there's this tingling warmth that you can feel in your hands, right? And then you just take that tingling warmth and you place it to wherever you feel your chakra needs it the most. And you visualize all that warmth and light going into the chakra and cleansing the chakra and removing anything that should be, cleared out. Where's my little doohickey? I lost it. Probably all the way over there somewhere. I have my little roller thing that I've been using, which I use a bit too much considering it's disappeared now. It's like a clear quartz roller. Those work amazing. It's like, I call it my magic eraser. Because if you start doing it like this, if you feel any tension, if you feel you have a headache, or if you feel you have any blockages, you just take that clear quartz or rose quartz roller and just roll it across your forehead. They're really nice. You can get them on Amazon for $10. So they're very cool to have. Trust me, you want one. They're really nice. Sorry, what? Clear quartz. Clear quartz is great. Hold on. I'll just find it for you. Luke wants one. I know you do. Let me find you one here. I'll just go to Amazon and get it. Rose quartz roller. In fact, there's one with lymphatic drainage too that was really good. Here we go. This is the one I got from my friends in South Africa. I brought a couple of these with me. How do I share this? Because honestly, make sure that you smudge these. Make sure that you guys are smudging everything that comes into your house right now, just for the record. That is one of the main advisories my guides are giving me right now. There you go. If you click that link, you'll see. I know I'm trying not to promote anything with Bezos. I know this is purely for simplicity's sake, and my apologies. If you can find one in a better place, feel free to get one, but that's just an example of what I'm talking about, and they're really nice to have, by the way. It's just a little roller with a rose quartz crystal on the ends, and it also comes with this, like, it looks like a paddle, right? And that's for lymphatic drainage. It's really nice to have. So if you haven't got anything like that, treat yourself. It's only $10 and it really works, and that helps to clear the chakras. You just roll it over each of your chakras as you're going. Right? You can even spruce it up a little bit, put some rose oil on it, and then rub yourself down with it. All kinds of different essential oils can kind of help with the acclimating of these energies that have been going crazy. I've been clearing my clear quartz with me every time I leave the house lately. Clear quartz is so underrated as a crystal. It is one of the most powerful crystals. Clear quartz and smoky quartz. I absolutely adore smoky quartz. It's such a nice crystal to have. The energy is so powerful and yet so, it's like comforting and warm. And I don't know what it is about smoky. I just love it. A lot of people turn down smoky quartzes, and that's the first one I reach for. So clear quartz is the master healer. Yes, Michelle, that is why so many people use it for Reiki. This is also used for Reiki. This is a Vogel crystal. Look at the facets on this thing. Isn't that amazing? This is actually a phantom one. It's really cool. Don't look at my nails. I need to do my nails tonight. But yeah, these are really good. In fact, I have a smoky version of this that I really love too. But if you can get any wand for Reiki, they're all really wonderful. You can even make your own wands. You can make one out of a stick and a crystal and some copper wire. There's an abundance of smoky quartz where I live. I have so many beautiful pieces that I found. Some of the most prized pieces. All right, everybody needs to go and hang out with Erin. Erin, we're all going to come looking for smoky quartz. That's telling you, I've been making orgonite with it, and I love it. It looks a bit funny sometimes inside the orgonite because you see like this dark patch and you're like, what is that dark patch? And you're like, oh yeah, I put a smoky in there. So you see like this hovering dark spot in there. It looks a little strange sometimes when you're making orgonite, but I love it. Can I use Lemurian quartz? Absolutely. Of course you can. Lemurian quartz is great. All quartz is great. Aiden is blinged out in his amethyst. Amethyst is a powerful quartz. It's used for protection. He's adorable, actually. He loves amethyst. So today he's got an amethyst ring, he's got an amethyst bracelet, and he's got his amethyst little cluster necklace that he got in South Africa. So Aiden is all blinged out in his amethyst. Amethyst is a very powerful form of quartz. So is rose quartz. So is citrine. Citrine is one of the best if you're working on healing your sacral chakra, or if you're trying to bring more joy into your life or more abundance. This is why we got to do the crystal class again. I love working with crystals. Next year we can get together in Arkansas to dig crystals. Heck yeah, let's do it. I'm so down for that. We could all go up to what do you call it? Herkimer, New York as well. Herkimer diamonds are great. They're very powerful. In fact, I really love some of the way that the Herkimer diamonds will affect other crystals, because there's a lot of supercharging that goes on without you being aware of it. Herkimer diamonds will empower any other crystal that you use with it. So they're very good for amplifying other crystals that may not be as powerful, but you want them to be. But I don't advise using it with moldavite, because then you'll end up activating your kundalini and roasting your ass like I did. Herkimer diamonds and moldavite is a very powerful combination, just for the record. I'm not far from Herkimer, New York. I want to go to that place. They are not cheap to mine there. That's why they call them diamonds, because they know they're going to charge you a fortune. It's just a very powerful, high vibrational quartz, ironically. Everybody thinks that Herkimer diamonds are something different, like they're a type of diamond. Nope, they're a quartz. Very, very high vibrational quartz. And I highly recommend getting at least one that you can carry around in your pocket or wear somewhere. They're a bit jagged sometimes. Moldavite is so damn expensive. Yes, it is. Moldavite is very expensive. In fact, I wish I had known how expensive it was going to get, because 13 years ago, when I first started buying crystals after my astral projection experience, I bought like 5 pieces of moldavite for like $10 a piece. It was like 10 quid. And they were big chunks as well. And I did not take good care of them, because I'm like, yeah, whatever. Those pieces, oh my God, they'd be worth like $100 now each. They're so, because the price has gone up like crazy. So, but you can get other types. Like this is a Libyan desert glass. This is another form of tektite that you can get. I'll have to show you guys my birthday present that I'm getting for myself, because I ordered myself a collection the other day. So if you guys are in the group with me, there's a group called Space Pickle Moldavite, or Moldavite the Space Pickle. Hold on, let me find it. So if you guys want a piece of moldavite, John will hook you up. Moldavite Space Pickle. If you search Moldavite Space Pickle, you'll find it. So it's a group where collectors sell their organite. Where is it? It's a private group, isn't it? Yeah, where is it? I can't find it right now. Well, if you look at my moldavite post from the other day, the one that looks like The Shining, where the moldavite thing is coming through, yeah, that one has the group in there. And there's tons and tons of very affordable pieces of moldavite in there. I highly recommend getting them from there. How did you feel when you blasted your kundalini? I felt like my spine was melting, Susan. The only way I could describe it. Carolyn says, oops, I have a pendant with Herkimer and moldavite. Well, obviously you do, Carolyn, because you have such a high vibration. You can handle it. It's the muggles that are like, they peek it and they're like, why am I feeling heart palpitations? Because the vibration is so different. Moldavite's also weird too. Have you guys ever noticed that it vanishes? It just disappears. I swear that thing goes back to 5D. It's like, no, screw 3D. I'm going back up. And it just vanishes in thin air, because I've had moldavite sitting in one spot, never touched it. Nobody comes in here, and it will vanish. And I'll be like, where's my moldavite? And I'll be looking everywhere for it for like 2 weeks. And then it will appear back in the same spot it was the last time. So I bet you that it changes its vibration and then just goes boop and disappears for a little while and then comes back again. What about actual real diamonds? Do they have any crystal qualities? Everything has qualities. Everything has metaphysical properties, even bones. Everybody thinks you have to wear a crystal for the properties. No, everything has properties. Gold has I can't speak today. Metaphysical properties. Silver has metaphysical properties. This is why some of you like wearing silver and some of you don't like wearing gold, or vice versa. I don't wear gold. I never wear gold. Not even really white gold, actually, funnily enough. I've never really liked it. I am silver all the way. Everything I own is silver. So makes you wonder why that is, right? Why we don't like wearing certain metals. I love wearing copper, but the smell of it drives me crazy. So I don't usually wear copper very often. But even lab created crystals are very, very similar in vibration. I have an alexandrite ring, for example. My alexandrite ring is about the stone is about that big. It cost me about $40. I don't know if you guys know what alexandrite is. Alexandrite is one of the rarest crystals in the world. It is a crystal that changes color depending on the light spectrum. So alexandrite, at least the one that I have, looks purple, but then when you change the lighting of it, it will actually look ice blue. So it completely changes it under different light, like whether it's incandescent bulbs or whatever. So when I got it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how cheap this is. It was lab created. I went online and I tried to find an alexandrite ring that was the same size, how much it would have been worth. It would have been worth easily $60,000, my ring. $60,000, right? So I looked into this. I was really curious. I'm like, does this ring still have the same properties? According to some, yes, it does. Very similar. So even if it's lab created, if it has the same light spectrum, if it carries the same vibration, it's going to have almost identical properties. So obviously time and effort on the Earth's part probably carries a lot of, influence as to how the crystal is going to manifest the qualities it has, but obviously it's going to have some of those qualities regardless if it's carrying the same vibration. So I do think that lab created diamonds, lab created crystals in general are quite powerful. So it all depends obviously on how it was created, the process, and all of those things. I can see some of you also are the same way that you don't like gold. I think it has to date back to the Orion Wars, honestly, like me and my weird opinions. But yeah, I think that's why I don't like gold, because gold has been used as such a dark purpose for it's been such an important commodity for different extraterrestrial races that I think it's almost like blood diamonds. You don't want to use diamonds because you know how much pain and suffering goes into the mining process, right? Same thing with gold. It's heartbreaking how much we've been abused for it. I once lost my earrings in the water at the beach. I found it almost 2 weeks after. I never heard of finding your lost jewelry back from the ocean. Well, honestly, I think that it called you back to that space. If you find something that is meant for you and it comes back to you, then I really feel like it was meant to be. Like it was something that obviously was yours, in the sense that the universe was like, nope, she's not losing that. Things will manifest. They will even pop up in places you would not expect. I swear to God, I've seen things move from location to location just to make sure somebody would get it back again. So anything is possible. Any other questions? I could talk about crystals and jewelry all day long. But if there's any other questions, I'm happy to discuss with you guys. I think honestly, one of the best crystals you could totally wear, I've started to get some so I can make it into jewelry, is selenite. Look how pretty these selenite beads are. Isn't that gorgeous? Selenite is one of the best crystals you could possibly wear, and I almost never see it on anybody. And look how pretty that looks when you wear it. So I got this so I can make a choker out of it. So you get it and you can wear it like that. But I honestly feel that, if we make our own jewelry and we start viewing these things, it makes them more powerful. You infuse it with your love and your intention. This is why mala beads are so powerful. Mala beads have been made with a lot of energy and intention. Every single time they make one of those knots, they set it with an intention. At least if they're made the right way, they do. I love it when they dye the selenite pastel colors. Looks amazing. Selenite looks good in all forms. I just love selenite. You just can't get it wet. Don't ever wear your selenite out in the rain or in the shower or anything like that. I wear a selenite bracelet on both wrists. See, Sabrina, that's what I want. I'm going to look for the next crystal show. I could actually make 2 bracelets with this, but I think I want a choker more. That's why I got this. Nobody was selling them at the crystal show. I had to make my own. So I'm like, fine, I will. So this actually probably could be 2 bracelets. Maybe I'll make it into 2 bracelets. But yeah, if you make your own jewelry, you make your own organite, it infuses it with so much more energy. But then again, if you're not very good at, making jewelry, then you get wonderful people like Michelle to make it for you. I like wearing citrine. Citrine is very powerful for raising vibration and bringing in joy, and also for attracting abundance. So citrine's a very good one. Just make sure that it's a real citrine. Real citrine is not as bright and yellow as you would expect. In fact, where is it? Don't I have one? No. I don't know what I did with mine. I have a whole bunch of different citrines. One is real, one is heat treated, and you can tell the difference because the heat treated one is much brighter, more vibrant colored. So I just bought a huge shungite pyramid. Wonderful. Yes. She just brace yourself Wi-Fi router. I love that. Yes. Keep them on your Wi-Fi router. Just make sure that you are smudging them every 3 days or so. Every mala beads necklace I have ever gotten has broken. I'm sorry to hear that, Jordan. There's a lot of very cheap ones online that you can get, but I really feel like if you even spend $100 on a real mala one from somewhere like, Bali where they make them, it ends up lasting a lot longer. I had a friend make me one from India, and that one is never broken. But I've had a couple other ones that people gave me as gifts, and I'm like, yeah, this was not made the right way. I could tell because it broke like within a month or two of use. Real citrine is more orange. Yeah, it sometimes even looks brown. You know what's another really good one that a lot of people don't know about is Super 7. You guys ever seen Super 7? Super 7 is a crystal that is all 7 different types of quartz in one. You got to Google it. Super 7. It's a really cool looking crystal. Super 7 is usually, it does tend to look a bit more amethysty or a bit more citriny, but there's all 7 kinds of quartz, including smoky and clear and all the others all in one. So that is a very, very powerful crystal to use as well. Is garnet good to wear? Absolutely. Garnet is wonderful for physical health, for grounding, for cleansing the blood, which is one of the best ways to keep you young and healthy. Garnet is actually one of the best protective crystals you could wear as well for your physical health anyway. I bought a crystal bracelet. The maker says to always wear it on the left wrist, never bring it to wakes, funerals, and cemeteries. Yeah, they were trying to protect you from having bad juju attached to it. If you wear it on the left side is your psychic side, as they say. That's why they say your left ear is your first ear to activate. So if you're getting pain or ringing in your left ear, that's always a symbol that, your activations are going on. Some Super 7 bracelets are great to wear. That's one of the ones that I wear the most. Malachite's also great. Where's that malachite I bought? Malachite's right here. It's such a cool crystal. But you have to be careful not to buy fake malachite because there's a lot of fake malachite out there. So malachite is one of the most copied crystals because it's so rare. This thing was not cheap. This was like $80, and I got it from Simonstown. Moldavite is very pricey when you get the real kind. Moldavite. Did you say Moldavite? I meant to say malachite. Sorry. Carnelian is also one of the best. In fact, for those of you who work with animals a lot, animals love carnelian. Carnelian is also very good. Carnelian, garnet, and bloodstone are the 3 that I recommend most for physical health, for circulation issues, for blood issues, for general healing. If somebody has cancer, get them one of those 3. Smoky quartz is also really good for healing. Malachite is pricey, but has such a healing, nurturing energy. Yep. Malachite's one of those ones. If you can spoil yourself and get a real malachite, it's really nice. One of my other favorites that's really underrated is chrysocolla. You don't often see chrysocolla. This is one of the teal colored ones. It's got a bit of opalescence there on the side, but this is actually really good as well for heart chakra healing. Chrysocolla is amazing for clearing blockages and grounding, and also for connecting with the heart. It's got very soft healing energy. Is Reiki infused crystals better or just bullshit? No, Reiki anything is not bullshit. You know how many times I've had people be like, I don't believe in Reiki. And I'm like, all right, come here. And then I just work my magic and then they're drooling in my hands like 10 minutes later. Reiki is definitely legit. You get a lot of energy that can be infused into things, and not just crystals. Everything can be infused with Reiki. Everything. You can infuse your tea. I'm going to sit here and Reiki my tea. You just visualize golden light shining down, illuminating the tea. The tea is now glowing with light. This tea is only going to serve me to my highest good. I am infusing this tea with love and joy. And then you just drink the tea. In fact, I have a Reiki master, my lovely friend Girda. If you guys ever notice, I say love a lot. She's the reason why. Girda, my Reiki teacher, she infuses everything with love. Love, love, love. This is why she calls everybody love. Every time she drinks anything, I see her, I pour her a cup of coffee. The very first thing she does is she's like, like she just infuses everything with love. And then she's like, no, it's not going to hurt me. It's going to serve me to my highest good. And she truly believes that too. Like you cannot convince her otherwise. Even her nice little nightcap, you know, she'd be like, oh, this only serves me to my highest good. And so if you truly believe that, if you infuse everything that goes into your mouth, this is why I say like blessings. You know, when people say blessings around the kitchen, this is actually one of the best things that Christians do, hands down. I actually love this, is when you bless your food. My parents used to have a thing. My grandparents would say, for food, for son, for all the things we love best. Thank you, God. Amen. That it takes 10 seconds, right? But that, just saying that will infuse your love into that food. It will infuse it with all kinds of gratitude, gratitude is one of the highest vibrations. So there's a lot of things that we can do. In fact, yes, I am going to have a Reiki master on the podcast very soon. I was already planning on that. Luke, you're reading my mind. See, Luke, we're tuning in. So someone earlier said a guru told her that you're not supposed to use Reiki on others, just yourself. Is this true? No, of course it's not true. People have their opinions. People love to gatekeep and make rules and silliness. Of course it's not fucking true. Otherwise, why would there be millions of Reiki practitioners all over the world helping people? People like to say a lot of shit. They do. Usually because they're selling something. And so this is why I say, like, you know, everybody is welcome to their opinions. Absolutely. But I've literally seen the benefit that Reiki does for people, especially people that are in hospice, people who are in severe pain, people who are so depressed that they just feel like they need that loving energy. Like you'd be surprised how much Reiki can be life-saving, which is why in some hospitals, they even allow Reiki now. They're bringing Reiki practitioners into hospitals because they're noticing the difference it makes with people, not just with their, you know, their general healing, but just their mood, their ability to want to be here actually increases. A lot of people are so miserable because they're dealing with chemo, they're dealing with, you know, some kind of really invasive surgery. And so, you know, this is why I say that anyone that tries to tell you not to do something, ask yourself within, you know, just listen to yourself. Don't let somebody else tell you what to do. Okay, not even me. Don't listen to me either. Don't listen to anybody. Okay, gurus are full of shit, most of them anyway. So if something doesn't resonate, I don't care how they're the Dalai Lama, especially I care if the Dalai Lama, considering some weird shit's happened with him too. It doesn't matter how much of a guru they are. They're not everybody knows everything. And be wary of anyone who speaks in absolutes. Nothing is impossible. Absolutely nothing. Every time I say something is impossible, the universe is like, hold my beer. Let me just prove you wrong real quick. So I actually, every time somebody tries to say something is impossible, I'm like, you better take that back. You better watch what you say because it will surprise you. So anyway, I've been sitting here rambling. If any questions, anybody else want to chat about something before we go and enjoy our wonderful weekend? How's the weather that's going to be near you guys? Let me check. For here, it was cold all week, but then we had like 2 days of warm, and now it's going to be freezing cold again. Yep. So make sure that you guys are enjoying your time. I really want to get outside. I saw some flowers this morning that were coming up out of my garden, and it really made me so happy. I'm going to show you guys. I can't even begin to tell you how much joy seeing this brought me this morning as I was coming in from taking Aiden to the bus. I looked over at my door and I saw these little daffodils coming up, and my entire body just went, oh, yay. Like, yay, spring is here. I can't wait. Sunshine and spring is on the way. It's trying to start already. Yes, it's not even March yet. Like, let's do this. I'm so ready for spring already. Lindsay saw a roadrunner this morning. See, that's another spring sign. Love it. Roadrunners are awesome. There you go. Have the guides mentioned anything about the upcoming month and what to be aware of? Lots of astrology info. Yeah, they've all told me to buckle up. That's why I was giving the advice on the grounding and the self-cleansing and make sure that you guys are, keeping up to date with these things. When are we going to see more LSR clearings? I was actually hoping to do them today and my medium was too busy. It's hard to tackle these mediums and get them to work with me. So many of them are so busy because most of these mediums have day jobs, and trying to tie them down to do clearings in the middle of the day is very difficult. So I have actually been working on that, and I'm hoping that next week on Wednesday is the day that we can do our next LSR. So let me work on manifesting that, and we can go from there. In your post about imposter guides, you said light is winning. Can you talk more about that? Well, this is why they're able to affect us more, because our vibration is going up. So because our vibration is going up, we're tuning into things that exist in the astral easier. So it's like the astral is starting to merge with the physical. So keep in mind, the 4D astral is physical when you are in the 4D astral. Okay, so as we move up in vibration, it may seem like we're in 3D, but if you start seeing shit around you, you're not in 3D, you're in 4 or 5D. So this is why whenever you see somebody say, oh, we're already in 5D, I'm like, oh yeah? You sure? Because I don't see nothing. Because if we were in the same vibration, you would be seeing these things. You would be seeing earthbounds. They would look like normal people. You would not know they were non-physical until you went to touch them. You went to poke them and your hand went through and you're like, whoa, okay, you're not physical. Okay, that is how you're going to know an earthbound. This is why mediums that don't know they're mediums end up feeling like they've lost their minds, because they can see people, but then when they touch them, they're not real because they're earthbounds. So until you can see entities and earthbounds and the things around you, you're still locked into the 3D frequency. This is why they call them mediums, because they have 1 foot in 3D and 1 foot in 4D, so to speak. And the higher vibrational medium you are, the more you're going to be only resonating with the higher vibrational beings. This is why so many mediums don't believe in the low vibrational stuff, because their vibration's up here. They're not even seeing the stuff down here. They're way, way up here doing stuff. Does all the light increasing actually attract more stuff around us? Absolutely, Carol, it does. Yep. Especially for starseeds and people of high vibration. It's like you're the beacon. You're the bright light that's moving through the dark forest, so to speak. You're going to be calling a lot more attention to yourself, which is another reason why psychic protection is so important. You can keep them back very easily. Keep in mind that beings in 5D, the extraterrestrials, the Pleiadians, whatever you want to call them, they live in 5D. They still see entities. It's just that the entities are like they're just like, it's like another animal to them. They're like, oh, you can't touch me anyway. Like it's no big deal to them. They can see them, but they're out of touch. They're out of reach. They're up here and the entities are down here. Problem is, we're down here and the entities are here. So the entities are messing with us. So this is why, everything is about vibration. All of these things are important. Can you tell me if one is navigating in 5D, can people not sense or see them in 3D? So if you're in 3D and they're in 3D, your frequencies are matching, you connect. If they're in 4D and you're in 3D, you can't see each other, right? There's a disconnection. You astral project, raise your consciousness to 4D, then you're matching vibration and you can connect with them, right? So if somebody is a matching vibration, they can see and hear you, right? But you cannot perceive anything above your vibration. It's spinning too fast. It's like a fan that is started spinning so fast you can no longer see it. It just disappears, right? That is why. That's why so many ET ships, they just blink out of existence. That's all they did. They didn't move from that space. They just changed their vibration to a higher point so they're no longer in the perception range, right? So that's why so many animals, thank you, Michelle, good point, is that animals actually can walk between worlds. They can see other beings that exist around it. So humans are locked into an artificial frequency. This is why so many people get this confused. Animals are not locked into that frequency. We have been genetically modified and mentally modified, like they've literally put like blinders on us that only allow us to see within a very short spectrum, right? This is why they say the wavelengths only allow us to see 1% of what actually exists around us. So all of these different layers, you exist throughout these layers. You're just not aware of your multidimensional self. This is why something comes in from 4D, 5D, they can still see you, they can still affect you, they still affect your astral body. So if somebody attacks your astral body, you're not going to have scars. You're not going to have scratches. You're going to have pain. You're going to have discomfort. You're going to have feelings of something touching you. But that's because they're affecting your astral body, not your physical body. It's not until they lower their frequency to the point where they're in the 3D physical that they can actually like scratch you and do damage to you physically. So those are the beings that you should be most concerned about, really, I think, are the ones that can manifest themselves physically. And those are exceptionally rare. In fact, I've only ever heard of that ever happening like 3 to 5 times in my entire life, that people have actually seen these things manifest in the physical. Because that takes a huge vibration to be able to pull all of that energy into a physical space. And in most cases, this happens on psychedelics, which is why we're talking about that in the class. So this is another reason why we're going to be talking about a lot of this during the new astral projection course that we'll be offering on the 16th. Because there's a lot that's going on in the other dimensions that people are not aware of. And most of the things that we're putting in this class is stuff that is not in my first class, if not all of it. So this is a completely new class. So if you guys have already taken my astral projection and protection class, this is all new info that I invite you guys to join us for, because that's what people were asking for. They wanted new info. So we've got all kinds of really interesting stuff in there for you guys. Alcoholics see them during detox. Alcoholics see them when they're drunk or sober, really, because your body detoxing does still kind of keep you in that spectrum. I think of vibrations as radio stations. You can all exist at the same time, but unless you tune in, you're not going to hear it or see it. It's the perfect example. I agree completely, Michelle. Any other questions? Schematic says cloaking is so important. I cloak each of the 5 protecting spheres I surround myself with every day. So if they find one of the spheres, and then comes another cloak. Love that. That's a great idea. Cloaking your protection is actually really clever. We've actually had that problem where satellites are messing with mediums. There was one medium that was being harassed, and when we went to check them, we're like, is this a level 2 or a 3 that's causing this? And they're like, no, it's technology, actually. And I was like, what do you mean it's technology? They're like, they're aiming a satellite at her, and they're basically trying to fry her brain with the satellite. And I was like, you sons of bitches. Like, how clever is that? That they were using a satellite to try and fry this poor medium. So we ended up calling in the Arcturians, and the Arcturians ended up trying to find the satellite, and they couldn't find it at first. They were like, what is going on here? They cloaked the satellite that they were using to fry the medium. So the Arcturians, luckily, they're very clever. And then when they found it, they were like astonished. They were like, this piece of junk could do that. Like, they always look down on our technology, on the Cabal's technology. They're like, look at this. And, look at this ancient piece of crap here. But that ancient piece of crap was doing a lot of damage to the medium down on Earth. So this is why it's very important to be aware. Like, there's a lot of ways that they are changing the game that we aren't even aware of yet. We have to adapt as they are adapting. Why do kids until age 8 can see them? They have a higher vibration. Because until you get to that point in your life where life starts kicking you while you're down, your vibration is actually pretty high most of the time. This is another reason why children in most of my clearings are sovereign. If I get a family clearing and people are like, is the mom and dad sovereign? No, mom and dad have a whole bunch of shit. And I'm like, all right, great. And I say, okay, let me check the kids. And I check the kids and both kids are sovereign. And I'm like, how are the two children staying sovereign in a house full of demons and Lizzies? And they're like, oh, the children just have a high vibration. They're protected. I was like, okay, good to know. So you'd be surprised how much your high vibration can actually protect you. But that is why they go for the weakest link in the family. They'll go and try and use somebody like, I don't know, like the cousin or whatever who's been drinking a lot to come and lower the vibration of the whole family, because they're the one that they can control. So therefore they use that control to mess with the mind and the happiness of the other people around it. This is a major reason why you need to set boundaries with people that are not taking good care of themselves in that aspect. People who are very bad addicts, people who are going through really extreme mental health stuff, because unfortunately, if you don't set boundaries with them, they can use them against you to do damage. So, all right. Well, any other questions for today? Kitesh, as she sleeps at this time, this is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning for Kitesh. So I would have to have a completely special weekend thing to bring her back on, which I may do, but not anytime soon. Nope. I really enjoy my weekends, I must say. So unless we have a special date podcast, which is actually quite funny, March is completely full. In fact, my Friday podcast, I'm starting to fill because next month is already filled to the 25th with guests. And I do have some interesting people to come back on, as well as some new people I'm very excited to introduce you guys to. So my podcast schedule is filling up very, very, very quickly. In fact, I had to sneak Angelica on the Friday because I'm like, shoot, there's no other time left. I don't have any other time to get you in. So I only have a couple days left for my March schedule to fill. I would love to get Marla and a couple other people back on, but like I said, there's a lot of people that are interested in coming on. I will be attending more seminars. Much of this has been explained so much. Thank you for your time in creating these seminars. Oh, thank you, Angel. Very sweet of you to say. You guys are wonderful. I love teaching you guys this stuff because it gives me a reason to learn it myself. Because I'm like, they want to learn about this. And the guides are like, all right, well, here's some info. And I'm like, all right, this isn't enough for me. Let me dig more. So that's how a lot of this has been happening, where I get like a little tidbit of information and it brings me down this whole new rabbit hole. And then I can't drop it. I'm like a dog with a bone. I can't let go of it until I learn everything I can. So this actually helps me to process it, put it into an understandable format, and then I can produce it in a way that you guys can enjoy it as well. So it helps me to help you guys. So anyway, I love you guys very much. I'm so excited about it being Friday and that I get to go bowling tomorrow. I can't wait. I hope you all enjoy, and make sure that you please get outside in nature, even if it's just for a few minutes. Grounding is so important right now. Go out and hug a tree. I'm going to go for a nice fresh walk. It's very cold outside, but it's important. I love you guys. I hope you have the most magical day, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Mwah. Bye.